I'm going to make a black bass and vegetable soup. To start off with, these tomatoes are vine ripe tomatoes, but they taste so much better than the vine ripe in the supermarket because I bought them on one of those stands on the side of the road where they were just freshly picked right out of their farm. If you can get to one of those type of places to buy the vegetables, do it. So much better. Now, this is made with the vegetables, the fish stock, and some of the black bass. This fish stock, if you want to know how to make a fish stock, I have a recipe for one, but this was made just with the heads of 5 large black bass, and it's so much better than using just the bones and the head. All head, all the gelatin, the flavor, and the black bass is a very pleasant, sweet tasting fish. Not all fish make a good fish stock. This one does. So we're going to sweat this up in olive oil with the fresh thyme. And the zucchini and yellow squash will be added like at the last 2 minutes of the cooking, so they still stay nice and firm. All this will be sweat up in a little olive oil or butter if you like. And we have tomato, celery, onions, mushroom, fresh button mushroom. You want to use shiitake, you want to use portobello, whatever, and nicely cut up and washed well the leeks. So let's get started. Put a little olive oil in there. And at the time when I was making the fish stock, I knew it was going to be for this, and that's why I didn't use any vegetables in it, because I have all the vegetables right here. So at a moderate flame we'll sweat this up, and also the green pepper I will add later. So what are we doing? Just go for a few minutes. We're not looking to make any color here. You could, if you wanted to, you could go for a high flame and brown this up a little, but I'm not doing that. This will take about 3-4 minutes, so we'll come back. One more item. Even the potato. Look, it's so, if you could see it and feel it, this was also bought at the stand. Juicy, not dry, and very moist. Big difference in when you buy fresh ripened and fresh right off the vine and fresh anything compared to stuff that go to a warehouse and then gets to your supermarket, and you never know how long it's been in transit. Anyway, we're just about ready to put the stock in there. And I'm also using this seaweed, Pacific Arame. A little different than the other ones I've been using. This is a very fine looking, not as thick. It says to soak them, but you know what? I'm not going to soak them for the simple reason they're going to be in here. So I'm going to put in there, this doubles it's not a seaweed soup, but I'm putting this in there because it's going to look good, give a nice texture, and that's the reason. That should be enough. And now we're going to add 2.5 quarts of fish stock to this. And then we'll let this cook until everything is tender. Look at that. You know when you have a good fish stock when it gels. You wake up in the morning, You look at the refrigerator, at the container, and you go down. I made a good fish stock. And this is also the same thing with beef. You make beef bones, chicken bones cooked together, veal bones. Especially when you have the marrow. You won't get it as thick as this, but you'll notice a gel. Oh, especially with chicken soup. A good chicken soup will gel very nicely. Now that's the right amount. So all those vegetables that I cut up and the stock is going to make a nice pot of soup. The last thing we're going to put in there later, after this comes to a boil, simmers, when it's all tender, then I'm going to add the fish and the zucchini and squash. Now I already put the salt in there, and I'm using the sriracha hot sauce instead of pepper. I just happen to like it. And if you notice the vegetable soup, okay, it's watery. And then when you dish it up, all the vegetables and everything goes to the bottom, and it'll look similar to this, very watery. And then it goes down your throat quickly because it's thin. So to give this a little body, what you have to do is mix equal amounts of cornstarch and cold water, or you could use cornstarch and wine if you wanted to. And at the very end, when everything is done, you drizzle this in. It'll give it some body. It'll look better, and the flavors will linger longer in your mouth. Now, at this point, we're not done yet. So we look at check a piece of leek, it's still chewy, and potato. I'll give this another 15 minutes. When everything is soft, then we're done. And then we're going to add this, the rest of the vegetables, the fish. I'm only putting 6 ounces of black bass in there. I don't care that much about the fish. I care more about the taste that the soup already has from that delicious fish stock. So important. Good stocks will make a good dish. Now that everything is tender, we can finish up. Get the flame high. The second it starts to, well, this fish will cook in like 2 minutes. As soon as it starts to boil again, I will add the slurry of cornstarch and water, and we'll see how it looks. It should be the right amount for what we have here. So this will take a couple of minutes to come back to a boil. Mix up this slurry. Just make sure it's nice and smooth. Actually, you should do this like the last second. Oh, there we go. Because the cornstarch goes to the bottom, and you have to bring it. And then we'll just drizzle this in. There'll be no lumps. And it keeps the original color when you use this. If you were to use a roux, it would turn this kind of pale, a white, an off-white color. So let's see what we have here. That's good. You notice the vegetables are now sitting at the top, in the middle, and the bottom. And we're going to shut this off because we're done. Now that, to me, that looks about almost like 4 quarts of soup. I'll take the last taste because I seasoned it with salt and the sriracha hot chili sauce. And that pot's going to stay right there. My wife is coming home and she will enjoy some of that, and so will I. And I hope you do too.